Notre Dame, again, I said it going into the games last week that it was the first time I had seen Notre Dame on this stage where I thought that they had a roster that could hang with a Georgia. Because you just mentioned it. The Notre Dame against Alabama, I mean, you saw what happened there. Notre Dame was always good enough for Notre Dame's schedule, but not good enough to compete with the best in the country. The Alabamas, the Georgias. Now they are. And we're going to see it next week or January 20th when they play in the national championship game. Who that is, I think it's going to be Ohio State leading to tonight's game, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN, Ohio State, Texas, Goodyear Cotton Bowl. I just, Paul, in look, I'll get on here and say I was wrong if I'm wrong. I don't see anyone, if Ohio State shows up like they did against Tennessee and Oregon, I don't see anyone beating Ohio State. I don't see anyone keeping it within double digits.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to. I mean, other than Bevo, nobody's picking Texas to win this game, Matt. I mean, it's just not possible. I'm going to be on the SEC network set tonight, where I'm sure somebody will say, "Oh, yeah, Texas is going to win," because isn't that ordained when you're an SEC propagandist like we're all accused of being? But you can't do that. I mean, there's a way for it to be close, but I think the first quarter is critical. Can Texas get something going? I mean, Quinn Ewers is another one of those quarterbacks with all the high praise and accolades who gives you indigestion when you watch him play.
Yeah, and he started his career at Ohio State, then came back home to Texas, South Lake Carroll star in the DFW area, which is where Paul's hanging out now. And look, I think two things. One, Sark has got Texas back to the top of college football. Sark doesn't have to recruit. He gets to select. He's got a really, really good team. Second consecutive year, he's been in the last four of the college football season, last year in the 14 playoff. And give him credit for what he's done at Texas to get it back to where it needs to be. But this Ohio State team, Paul, was built for a reason. And we never really saw the best of Ohio State. We saw glimpses. We never saw the best. Michigan clearly pissed them off, because they've come in here in this playoff and they've made a joke out of their opponent. And based on what I saw in person last week at Texas and Arizona State, Texas is really good. The defense is really good. Quinn's got the skill position players around him. I just don't know that that's going to be enough against this Buckeyes team.
No, I don't think you can come to any other conclusion. And that's all we're trying to do. I'm sure tomorrow, if we're wrong, some Texas fan will stop me at the airport and say, "Told you." Well, good. Go ahead. Put your house up on Texas. I'll put mine on Ohio State, and we'll see who has a roof tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's easy to do that because, candidly, Ohio State hasn't been that trustworthy either. I mean,
No.
we basically have changed our tune on a team, a body of work of 12 games. It only took 2 of them in the postseason for us to change our mind on Ohio State. And give credit to Ryan Day. I thought it was absolutely ludicrous that people thought that he was in danger because he couldn't beat Michigan. I think that's just a stupid storyline because you put too much on the Michigan game. But he's showing the country, he and Chip Kelly, this Ohio State that we're seeing, Paul, that's what the $20 million was supposed to do, which was retain the talent and bring in a couple of championship pieces.
Yeah, and they're also so deep that they can make a run like this where everyone else is struggling with injuries and cobbling programs together. I can't explain Ohio State fans. I don't know any other fan base who puts a premium on one game like this. And I mean, I spent my life in Alabama. That game is not as important as this game. OU Texas is not as important. It's overdone. And listen, why is there a major Rory McIlroy can't win? I mean, it who knows what gets into people's heads, Matt, when it comes to things like that. But next year, I would recommend to Ryan Day, he just take that week off and let his assistants handle the game.